Hello, folks. So, in this video, I wanted to talk about business tactics and whatnot, right? Like, what businesses do to actually, you know, get more money from you, uh, make a lot of value from you, and make a lot of profit from you, right? So, what do they do? And basically, businesses, you can call this tactics. Businesses use tactics, or they use science, right? They understand humans, they understand the world, they understand science. They use research, right? They use science research and research papers and history of all the research and whatnot, and current research, latest research, and then businesses also use the idea of taking advantage of the behavior of the majority, or you can call it as taking advantage of the majority's behavior. And another way to put it is businesses take advantage of human behavior in general, or the world's behavior in general, right? So, and they understand human needs and wants, and sometimes they even create the human need and wants, right? They create demand while they create a supply, right? So let's get into some examples so that it makes sense. For example, businesses know that people love food. A lot of people love food, or even if people don't love food, they'll make people love food by actually creating food that is lovable. For example, they'll create a lot of sweet food, sugary food, that when people eat, they'll just go crazy for it. They'll love it because sugar is like that. It's just a drug, almost as good as a narcotic drug, just that it's not that intense. But it's like a vice, according to me. So you have sugar, and then you have food in general, tasty food, for example, salty food, spicy food. Spice, once my friend used to tell me, like, spice is not actually a taste, it's actually a feeling. It's basically the feeling of your tongue and your mouth burning, and for some reason a lot of people seem to like it, so they eat a lot of chili, pepper, and whatnot. And businesses understand this, and they make food variants. For example, when they have noodles, they also have Szechuan noodles to say that this is more spicy, more hot and spicy. And then people like sweet and spicy in their sauce and whatnot. So there are sauces and flavors for that. And so that is with respect to food. So they create food that is engineered to actually be addictive and tasty and lovable, and then people love it, and then people start eating it, and demand is created, people want it, and then you supply more, people want more, you supply more, and what goes on. And there's food, and then there's travel. A lot of people talk about travel. There are influencers, travel bloggers, travel vloggers, video loggers, right? These people travel, and then of course for food there is the whole set of industry, food industry, foodies, food influencers, and whatnot. So there are many people for that also. All these people basically influence people, talk about how there are new places to eat food or drink stuff, say the best beer in the town, the best croissant in the town, the best whiskey in the town, the best alcohol in the town, the best, for example, for travel, the best view in the town, the best, any place, the best place in the town, the happening place in the town, or the quiet place, the quiet happening place. It's quiet and it's not so popular. A lot of people like that, right? Like when there's some place that is not popular, but really good and quiet, then people want to go there because it's not crowded. So there's the travel business, the whole travel mania going on. And the interesting part about travel is it's not cheap. Flights, trains, buses are all really costly, especially during the festive season. So but that's how the businesses are doing things. An interesting part is there's also hotel accommodation and whatnot. There's food and everything when it comes to travel. So when you accommodate, you go and try to find an accommodation. Hotels are pretty expensive, and hotels, they you get a lot of things as a package. So this is a popular idea where users or like customers are actually provided with a package of things, even though I don't need the package. For example, I want accommodation. I want to basically I want a room. I want a bed. I want, say, air conditioner depending on the weather of the place. An air conditioner which can actually ensure that there is cool air, cold air, or there is hot air depending on the weather. If it is a cold place, I can use the hot air. If it is a warm or hot place, I can use the cold air from the air conditioner, and or use an air cooler, whatever they provide, right? And then I need a washroom, and then I need say food and all that, right? But the thing is, these people will also provide some extra stuff. Maybe I'll use it, maybe I'll not use it, but it doesn't matter to them. So they'll have they'll have multiple floors and so many floors probably, or even a few floors. They'll have a lift. So especially for old people, this is very useful. And even if I'm on the ground floor, doesn't matter, there's a lift, and the charge of the room will include the idea that there's a lift. And there'll be Wi-Fi. Even if I don't use Wi-Fi, they'll charge for it as part of the whole room charges. And then there'll be a fridge, and there'll be a lot of food items in it. If I don't eat it, great, but then people do end up eating it, right? They'll see food, and if they're hungry, they'll end up eating it. That's how basically they cater to the human need of hunger and thirst. Even water bottles, they'll provide some 2 complimentary water bottles, and then every other water bottle is actually for cost. And then they'll have television, they'll have swimming pool, all of these. Even if you don't use them, you'll have to pay for them. Basically, you pay for all the amenities. They'll have gym, they'll have free breakfast. You can't say no to the free breakfast, it's part of the package. There is no package where there is no free breakfast. So you'll have to pay for the breakfast, and you basically eat the breakfast, and if the free one is not enough, and you eat little, they'll provide only little, you eat little, and then basically you end up wanting to eat more food, and you end up paying for more food because the free quantity is less. So yeah, I mean, it's just tricky stuff like that. For example, what else? I think not just hotels, even buses these days have television. You won't need them probably, but you won't use them probably and whatnot, but then you still have to pay for it. These days, a lot of different services have a lot of different packages and a lot of different amenities. For example, buses will have Wi-Fi, buses will have this, that. You might not use them, you might not want them or need them, but then it doesn't matter, you'll have to pay for it. If asked why is the cost so high, they'll probably just say that you have all these amenities. We can't do much if you don't use them, but we will actually provide them. It's very possible that the TV is not working on the bus, but even then they'll charge you for it, right? Or nothing much is actually shown up on the TV, it's just a blank TV. You'll probably have to connect your phone to actually view something on it, or else it's just a dummy TV, it's just a dummy display with nothing to show, no content to show except the content that either you have on your pen drive, flash drive, or your phone or your laptop or whatever. It's just a plain display, not a smart TV, nothing, no services like say OTT and whatnot on it. So yeah, I mean this is with respect to travel and accommodation and all that stuff, right? And of course, flight tickets and bus tickets and train tickets are pretty costly, especially flight tickets. And then you have visa and whatnot, and you'll have to pay for your visa is there, and you'll have to get visa probably way beforehand. You'll have to get your tickets. For example, for Europe, I've heard that you have to get your tickets first and then get your visa, show your tickets that you're going at this time and come back at this time, date and time and all that. So crazy stuff, and you'll have to actually have a full itinerary to actually go to places like Europe. It seems crazy, and they'll have to believe it and know where you're going when. and then they'll give you your visa, Shenzhen visa, I think. And then so there's this whole craze about food, travel, right, these days. And then with respect to food, of course, there's a lot I can say about food. Actually, food has become part of entertainment industry. It's not just food and beverage industry, it's also part of the entertainment industry. People eat food for entertainment. And when you start eating food for entertainment, and I've done this a lot and I still do this a lot, when you start eating food for entertainment, that's the worst thing you can do, because now it's entertainment is like unlimited. Like you just want entertainment, more and more entertainment. Like humans, a lot of humans will just crave entertainment unless they are actually very mindful and very very say like smart, and know that okay, hey, I don't want so much entertainment in my life. I just want some percentage of my life to be entertainment. I want more of, like, say, meaning in my life, purpose in my life, and whatnot. So yeah, it can get tricky, but the thing is, when food becomes entertainment and food is tasty, food is addictive, that's all. You just keep eating more and more food, right? You just keep eating so much food that you end up becoming obese. You put on weight, you become unhealthy, especially when you eat a lot of unhealthy food. Usually addictive food is usually unhealthy. Most of the unhealthy food is very tasty and addictive, and very few healthy food is actually addictive. Probably, like, say, fruits, because they have natural sugar, but even natural sugar is not good for you after a given amount of quantity. So anything, even healthy food in extreme amounts, enormous amounts, is actually going to be unhealthy for you, right? So that is that. And then so that is with food and entertainment. And then, so if you get into a shop, right, let's say you have kids, you probably can't afford, let's say, babysitters, or you can afford babysitters, but you can't always end up having your kids staying at home. So when you go out, you probably might take them out also, right? And when you go grocery shopping and all, like, you have to buy groceries and you have to go for grocery shopping. Unless you put it on an app and buy yourself groceries and get it delivered, you'll have to go grocery shopping in person, in real life, and you might take your kid along with you, right? And then when you go to the shop owners know very well that a lot of people do bring their kids along with them, and especially close to the billing counter and whatnot, and in many places they'll have a lot of chocolates all around. Chocolates, candies, cakes, all sorts of junk food, unhealthy food, sugary food, food that actually children love, people love in general, like all these food. So people notice it and they'll crave for it. Or children, for example, will actually be like, I want this, I want this, I want this. They'll cry. This is kind of business tactics, basically. They'll understand that kids want sugar, kids love sugar, kids love food, and humans in general love food, and they'll use that to their advantage and try to sell food, right? There are many more businesses that take advantage of your wants and needs and behavior. For example, if I'm going on a walk, a short walk to my office, to my gym, or whatever, if I notice, say, auto rickshaw walas who actually transport you from one place to another place and whatnot, autos, these are three-wheelers, and these people will be like, sir, come, let's go, I'll actually take you where you want to go and whatnot. And I'm like, I don't want to go on an auto, I'm going to walk, right? But no, once actually what happened was, this was late night, and I'm actually walking towards my house, and I'm like being followed by an auto person in their auto. They're asking me if I actually want a hotel room, because they think that I'm actually new to the town, or if I want to actually go to some place in the auto and whatnot. I had to actually call the police to actually make them go. I called the police, and then the auto wala left, right? So basically their tactic was to actually just follow me around so that I cave in and give in and accept to their requests, which is like take me on an auto, find me a room so that I can stay, because they think I'm new to the town, but I'm not. And let's say I want food, they can take me to a hotel, a restaurant to eat food and whatnot. So yeah, I mean, businesses just keep using different tactics to just take advantage of your wants, needs, your behavior and whatnot. For example, recently on Book My Show, I'll probably make another video on that. On Book My Show, I noticed different events for blind dating and whatnot. Interestingly, the majority of the population, I think, are all heterosexual, and usually in the case of heterosexual, a popular idea is that men are running behind women. Men want women, and women are in demand, and men are in like high supply. But like there are a lot of men and very few women. The whole gender ratio issues, and there's a lot of demand for women to actually find a partner and all. Basically, there's a lot of demand for women. That is, men want to find a woman and find a partner for themselves. Let's say a casual partner or a long-term partner or a life partner, or like they want to marry someone and whatnot. So with this ideology, what they do is these blind dating events or dating events or any event in general, right, wherein you actually can meet people, they actually put different entry cost for women, say 100 rupees for women, and then for men it's actually 900 rupees, basically 9 times the cost. I mean, that's a great business, right? Like basically you tell, but I wonder what will happen when a lot of men end up getting into the event, but then there are no women. All the men will actually just end up paying and then end up in this events venue, and then notice that there are no women, and then they'll be like, I actually paid so much so that I can actually meet women for dating or in general to just talk to women and whatnot, and see if I can actually find a partner of, who is actually looking for marriage and whatnot. So crazy stuff. So a lot of Book My Show events and a lot of events in general have this parity for entry cost for men and women. And the craziest idea is, I mean, they take advantage of the idea that majority of the people are heterosexuals, though there are homosexuals. For example, if there are women looking for women, for them it's going to be very cheap to actually enter and find other women. For men looking for men, it's going to be really, really costly for both the men looking for another man, right? Let's say there are two sides, and for both of them, it's going to be really costly. So for homosexual people, it's going to be really costly. And the interesting part about this is even when it comes to say travel and accommodation, right? When you look at travel, especially, and like accommodation in hotels, they assume that most people are heterosexual. So if they notice a man and a woman actually trying to book a hotel room, they'll ask you, many hotels ask you to actually provide a verification that the man and the woman are actually married, right, officially married, because they don't want any issues like say brothel or whatever, or prostitution and all. Interestingly, this is not an issue for homosexuals. If two women come in asking for a hotel room, they'll get it. If two men, homosexuals, come asking for a hotel room, they'll get it. So homosexuals will actually not face a problem in such cases, but of course they'll have other problems at the national level, depending on if the nation allows homosexual marriage. For example, in India it's still not legal, right? But most people, the law and most businesses take advantage of the idea that if you are a man and if there's a woman, you're most probably heterosexual, and hence we have some rules and regulations, and we have some extra conditions and whatnot, and either you won't be allowed or you'll be allowed, but there'll be extra cost for the man, or it's like things like, for example, the Book My Show event, men have to pay more but women have to pay less and whatnot. And with respect to entertainment and food and entertainment a lot of times go together. For example, a lot of entertainment, say cinema, theater, movies, you go to theaters, you eat popcorn, you eat food and beverages is like the main business there. I've spoken about this before. And then there is stand-up comedy, there is theater drama, there is like music concerts, everywhere you have food and beverage, you need it. Humans want food to actually live. And interestingly, I think a lot of cinema theaters, I'm wondering if actually they have their show timings for their movies at various times around the day, especially during the meal times, so that the people will feel hungry sometime or the other and end up buying the food over there. And no outside food is allowed in the theater. And but water is allowed, of course. Outside water is allowed, but no outside food, right? Any other food or beverage. So, and water is necessary. So they provide water for free according to the law. But yeah, food and entertainment just go hand in hand. So when you're booking, like say, movie tickets, they ask you if you want food coupons, or if you want to book your food then itself. And then for say stand-up comedy, music concerts and whatnot, when you buy a ticket, they actually say that some portion of the ticket or the whole portion of the ticket is reimbursable as food. Let's say you buy $100 stand-up comedy ticket, they say $50 or $100, you can actually buy food with it. And the interesting part would be you can't buy say one food item with $100, or you might be able to find one food item, one basic simple food item for $100. And the moment you eat that, right, you end up eating it. Let's say you are hungry or you're not hungry, you're just bored or whatever, you eat it. And even if you're hungry or not hungry, if you end up feeling hungry or wanting to eat more, just that small push was necessary for you, that's all. And then you'll start eating more and more food, right? So this is true in movies. Like sometimes you get food coupons in movie theaters also. When you buy a lot of theater tickets, like film tickets, and then they'll give you an offer saying for this much money you can buy food. You end up buying food, and when you do this more and more and more, it will become a habit. Now they've actually ended up making you a habitual eater when it comes to entertainment, when you see movies, when you see stand-up comedy and whatnot. And now even if there is a coupon or not, you want to eat food because you are in an entertainment setup and you want to eat food. And that's how a lot of humans are actually conditioned to be like, because the business has made them like that. So now the business can easily sell food to them, right? This is true even in like food delivery apps and whatnot. They provide so much discounts so many times, and then at some point they're going to stop the discount because they can't increase the price of something, right? Like initially if something costs 200 and then they make it 400, everyone is going to be like, this is costly, I'm not going to eat it. But then if they say it's 400 but then we provide it for 200, and then you keep eating it though you know it's only for 200, and then at some point they say there's no discount, the cost goes up, right? Now it's like 400. You have become it has become a habit. You have become habitual to the whole idea of eating it again and again and again, so many times now that it has become a habit and it's going to be hard to stop. So now you just pay more money and eat it, right? So, and this is true even for say anything, right? This is true for like even in terms of like money, the whole discounting idea. This is true even in terms of phones, right? For example, if something costs say $500 today, right? In the future it will cost less, right? But the thing is this, right? Like you can't, the value of $500 will actually decrease over time, right? But then you actually created your phone. Let's say you are a phone manufacturer, you created the phone for $500. Now you don't want to sell it for just very, very low cost, or also for $500, because it's gonna, after say a year or two, you still have some of the phones left, right? You'll have to sell it on some say end of sale or whatever, right? Basically you just don't want it in your factory. You just have to sell it, right? What do? So when you start off, you have $500 worth of phone. You actually don't say it's $500. Instead, actually you reduce the cost of it. You say $500, but with discount you can get it for $350 or something. The discount is only possible, let's say, when you have credit cards. This actually enables companies to actually partner with credit card companies. This is done by even food companies, food delivery companies, or even companies like say Book My Show, which have like event ticketing companies, event management companies and whatnot, wherein you actually have a credit card, any payment method, online payment method, or in general payment method, in-person payment method, you partner with credit card companies and many other companies, and basically credit companies, pay later companies, and you basically find out a way to actually make money over there, right? So what you do is, in this case, say for phones, you say your $500 worth of phone is actually for $350. If you use this credit card, you will get a cashback and whatnot. And the next thing you do is you reduce the discount later so that you can increase the cost. Basically, the cost was always $500, right? Instead of increasing the cost, instead of saying initially the MRPs or the maximum price 350, but later it's 400, people will say, hey, you have just increased the cost, I'm not going to buy. Instead, you basically say you have decreased the discount, right? So instead of $350, now you'll have to pay $400 and whatnot. As time goes on, you will basically say, now a lot of people have bought it, now people see the value of the phone, now I'm going to sell it for $500 only, right? As time goes on, they can reduce the cost because now the value of $500 has also gone down, and the value of the phone will also go down. But then the thing is this, since the value of $500 has gone down, and there is also, like, this is an old item, so its value has gone down, they can still sell for $500 because now in 2024 the value of $500 is something X. In 2026 the value of $500 is less than X, right? So in 2026 you can still sell it for $500 because you can say, though the value of the phone has gone down, the value of $500 has also gone down, right? So you can still make that claim. Or you can say, okay, I'll sell it for $400 or whatever, right? So you can actually say the high cost is basically your current real cost. You also have to think about the future selling and be like, okay, the cost has to be this much, because you can't suddenly increase the cost of an item just like that very easily. But then you can easily decrease it with a discount. So you basically say it's a really high cost item, but then you're going to give it for a lower cost, and you basically play with the discount and accordingly give it to people, right? And since you know that your phone is actually going to be in your factory and with you for a long time, and it's going to be sold for a long time, its parts, the whole phone itself and whatnot, you basically ensure that the cost is pretty high, ensuring that you are future proof, so that in case in the future there's a lot of demand, you basically can still sell it for a really high cost, and people will still buy it because there's a lot of demand, right? So a lot of interesting ideas out there by where businesses implement these tactics and do this business. And it's all about demand and supply, and a lot of times people create the demand and then they do the supply also. So I think it's just a matter of creating demand, and if there's already demand based on human behavior and whatnot, it's just about supplying more and more items, more and more services, and then people will just come at you and get your service. Like, be it food, health and well-being, for example, spa, it makes you feel good, right? People want to feel good. People eat food, for example, for feeling good, for entertainment. People eat food for taste, right? Again, entertainment. They want to feel good. People go to salon and spa to feel good. Their hair looks good, their face looks good. They do some facial, they do some hairdressing and whatnot. They cut their hair. They get a hairstylist to do a really stylish hairstyle. They get their medicure, pedicure and whatnot, or manicure, sorry, I don't know. Well, they do a lot of things. They actually get massages done, head massage, full body massage. They get a masseuse and they feel good, right? Entertainment, we already know, movies, theaters, cinema theaters and drama theaters, and then stand-up comedy and whatnot. So many entertainment stuff. There is adventure parks, amusement parks and whatnot. Lot of adventures and experiences and travels and whatnot, camping, trekking, hiking and all. So businesses just cater to the idea that people are crazy about this, there's a lot of demand, let's just go ahead and supply to these people, right? So yeah, I mean, businesses really know well about what the majority of people want, what is the behavior of the majority of the people, and what are the needs of humans, what are the wants of humans, what are they crazy about, or how do we make them crazy about something, and then go ahead and cater to the craze and you know, you know, feed them with what they want or what they're crazy about. So yeah, I mean that's what businesses do, right? So a lot of businesses are not really interested in your well-being. They just want to make profits, or they are very sure that they are not interested in your well-being, that they'll go to any lengths to even mess up your health, and then they'll actually provide you with services like healthcare and health insurance and whatnot. And then healthcare industry will come into play and be like, okay, hey, you're not healthy, okay, cool, we'll come in and we'll help you be healthy. And who knows, they're probably creating in demand by paying all these food companies and other companies to ensure that you become unhealthy. And then the health in that industry comes in, that is fitness industry, say medical industry, pharmaceutical industry, fitness coaches, all these health and wellness programs, meditation programs, yoga programs, exercise programs, gym programs, all these group classes, swimming classes, sports classes, say badminton, tennis, and whatnot, doctors, hospitals, clinics, and also all these health products and nutrition products for protein powders and whatnot, and Ayurveda and different kinds of medicine and whatnot. And of course, like surgeries and whatnot. In case you look fat, you want to look good, so you want to look thin, let's do a cosmetic surgery. And in general surgeries, because you are feeling your knees pain, your body has some issue, your body aches, you have to do a surgery and whatnot. So who knows, these people are probably actually pumping in money. These healthcare industry folks are pumping in money into all these food industry and all these other industries that make someone weak and unhealthy. And then the healthcare industry will be like, okay, now you are all unhealthy, now come in and pay me money so that I'll make you healthy. Who knows, I spoke about this recently, about creating a demand for health industry by pumping in money for all the industry businesses that make people, humans, and living organisms unhealthy, and then creating a demand for health industry, and then supplying all your health industry business services and products, right? So yeah, I mean, all business tactics, it's very, very possible, though it's a very simple conspiracy theory. So yeah, I mean, that's all I had for this video, talking about business tactics and how businesses take advantage of the behavior of the majority. So don't be the majority, don't have the behavior of the majority, be the minority, be healthy. That's all I had for this video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.